Welcome to Successfully Unsigned, where we offer professional advice for unprofessionals trying to make their mark in the music industry. Whether you're an unsigned artist, a DIY musician, or just starting out, this show is for you. Hosted by David, Patrick, and Dale, this show is all about real conversations, practical insights, and spotlighting independent artists and industry voices you maybe haven't heard yet, but definitely should. Catch every episode on YouTube, your favorite streaming platform, and now on Patreon, where you can support the show and get exclusive content to help level up your music career.
Welcome to Successfully Unsigned, Season 4. Welcome. Oh my goodness, it's been a long time coming. We know you guys have been waiting. We've had so many people saying, where are you? Where have you been? We miss you. Like hundreds and thousands of people asking where we've been. It's okay, guys. We're back. And we're back with a very special episode. We have an interview with Dawn today, and I'm so excited about it. It went really well. We filmed in their early 2000s room. I'm currently wearing their merch. And it was a really fun time. So make sure you stay tuned for that. But before, we just want to kind of talk about what's been going on, and specifically in the music world. And unfortunately, David is not here with us today.
Yeah, David's off celebrating life and good things, and we're only a little jealous, but it's okay. I'm just kidding. We love David. Wish he could be here with us, but he will be back for our next episode. Can't wait for that. And it has been a long time, and I know you make jokes about hundreds and thousands of people asking where we've been, but honestly, I don't know about you, Patrick, but I've had quite a few people ask, hey, when's the next thing coming out? And it's really encouraging to us, or at least to me, when people are like, hey, I recognize you from the podcast. Hey, we saw this. This is really cool. We want to be on it. I've had a number of people ask me in our break, like, hey, can we get on the podcast? And honestly, we wish we had the time and the ability to have
busy.
Everybody.
What can we say?
And it's such a wonderful thing, but it's so encouraging to us when people reach out and either want to be involved, whether it's as an interview or just they want to be involved in some other way. And, those things really, really help us have some stamina to keep going and to keep doing this, and beyond just the love of the podcast and the love of local music. So thank you to everyone in this this break between season 3 and season 4 who have reached out and talked to us about this. Thank you so much. It's awesome.
And you might be wondering, okay, well, you're back. Cool. But what now? Other than some amazing artist interviews, what else do we expect to see this season? Well, we got industry professionals this year. Mm-hmm. So if y'all got connections, hit us up.
We're really taking a stab into a new, totally new show dynamic.
Yes.
So what you're going to be seeing today is a little different than what you've seen, actually a lot different than what you've seen over the last 3 seasons. We're turning this from just simply, a sit-down casual podcast into an entire show for you here on YouTube. So in this first section, like Patrick mentioned, we're going to be talking about whether it's current news, current things that are going on in the music industry, along with some current local things that we're directly involved in, or friends of the show, or a fellow unsigned, artists that are local and have been on the show or related to. Talking about some of that. We're going to be giving you a really short but very beneficial set of just tips and cool things in the industry going on right now as a little break. And then we're going to be hitting these interviews to finish out the show, to round us around to just an overall experience that we hope that you really enjoy. And if you like this new format, please let us know down in the comments. It's something we're kind of experimenting with to kind of have fun and to break up kind of the flow that we've had, and to try something new. So let us know if you like that down in the comments. And of course, comment anyway, subscribe. Let us know what you think of this show and our show in general. We value every single person that reaches out and comments and talks to us about our show.
Well, almost everyone.
Everyone except for Patrick. I don't like it when he talks to me about the show.
But we also still have our live sessions going on, so no worries. So stay tuned for that with Dawn as well, featuring some new music, some old music. Oh, new music and old music. How can that work with just one live session, you ask? Actually, we have 2 live sessions. But this season of Successfully Unsigned, we're doing, like we said, some things a little different. And so if you want some exclusive content this year, you've been waiting and waiting all these months. Oh my goodness, where's the podcast? Where's the podcast? Oh, great. Finally, there's an episode. Oh, but man, I want even more. Guess what? We have a Patreon. So, yes, we have a Patreon this year that we're starting experimenting with. Like Dale said, comment below what you kind of want to see from that. Exclusive ideas that you might have, or ideas that you might have that you could see being exclusive. So basically how it will work with our interviews is we're going to have our regular interviews, and then we will have our Patreon exclusive conversations. And so you can find all the information about that in the description. But it doesn't stop there. We have, like I said, our regular live sessions that we'll be doing with artists. But this year, we're going to be having them do 2 different songs. And so one of the songs will be Patreon exclusive. So I know there are a lot of Dawn fans out there because I'm on the same Discord as y'all. So if you want to see Mike and McCall perform, they're amazing. I love them. If you want to see them perform both songs, make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this week for the one here on YouTube. And then go to our description, go click the link for Patreon, go subscribe, and go watch.
And I know it's a really commonly used expression, but if you would be willing to sit down with any of the 3 of us, myself, Patrick, David Overstreet, if you'd be willing to sit down with any of us once a month for a coffee, we would hugely appreciate if you would do or spend the same amount of money and buy us a virtual coffee and get exclusive content like Patrick just mentioned on our Patreon. It's extremely affordable, and it gives you something that no one else has access to. And extra behind the scenes things, extra just really casual, down to earth interviews with some of these people. We've already had a couple interviews this season as we've been gearing up for things that are so much fun. And that extra look at some of these artists that maybe they're your favorite now and maybe they'll become your next favorite artist. And you get that little bit more insight into who they are. And of course, the double feature of the songs as well. So you can head over to our Patreon and get all of that stuff for $3, $5, $7, $9. Super cheap. All, like I said, price of a coffee. I like coffee. Patrick doesn't like coffee, but you could buy me 2 coffees, or you could.
I'll buy a Frappuccino.
Frappuccinos are good.
It's literally just ice cream.
Yeah, they're good.
But we got that, and then there might even be some other bonus content in there in the near future, so just stay tuned. But that being said, I guess we'll stop talking about this current season. Just watch to see how it goes. And if we break up by the end of this, the 3 of us break up, and then I guess you'll know that it didn't work out, but it's going to work out. Actually, no, I think it really is. Like, we have a lot more structure now, so I'm really excited about like how we've been working and just kind of the plans that we've been putting in. And thank you again just for your all's patience while we have been working out and smoothing out everything. But it's been fun. I'm really excited for our guests this year. Like, I'm really excited for all of our guests. Yeah. We made a good list and are really excited about who we're going to get on.
You know, it's been a real cool thing to see the evolution of our show since that first episode till now, and just how hugely different it is, both in topic of conversation and production, in practicality even. You know, both on our end as we film these interviews and these conversations like we're having now, and also in the practicality to the listener, to, you know, you. And we hope that shows on your side as well as you watch this. Once again, if it does, if you have been with us this whole time, thank you. And let us know how those changes have been good or bad from your perspective. We're very open and always kind of have been to conversations from the community, whether it's things you like, things you don't like. Those conversations are really valuable because all of this, even though we're not in here making music right now, this is still a form of art and it's an evolving thing. So
I do think I should have probably kept the pinata costume, just worn it every single episode.
I don't know
keep
that I
that the
agree
same
to that.
from the first episode. Like, no one knows what I look like without the pinata costume. I'm like a cartoon character.
You are anyway, Patrick.
That is also true. But speaking of cool costumes and crazy outfits, let's get into some music news and talk about Coachella, everyone's favorite music event of the year. Dale, what do you know about Coachella?
Major festival, one of the biggest in the U.S.
Okay, so I need to read this because my computer is about to die. Okay, so this is from a very, very trusted academic source, wikipedia.com. Coachella, so it actually started out as a Pearl Jam concert. Did you know that?
No, but that makes sense.
Yeah, so in 1993, Pearl Jam performed at the Empire Polo Club while boycotting venues controlled by Ticketmaster, period. We don't like Ticketmaster on here unless they want to sponsor us.
We'll sell out, right?
100%. The show validated the site's viability for hosting large events. And so the first one was held over the course of 2 days in October 99, 3 months after Woodstock.
Whoa.
No event was held in 2000. And then it started on an annual basis in 2001. And then eventually went into the 2 weekends that we currently have. The only times they didn't have one was 2020 and 2021. I don't even know why I'm asking you, but do you know the Vanessa Hudgens clip of her talking about Coachella 2020?
Of course not.
Do you know who Vanessa Hudgens is?
Yes.
Okay, Vanessa Hudgens, she was on High School Musical.
I'm pretty sure she's been in some...
She's been in those stupid Hallmark movies. She's
the Hallmark style. That's right,
Christmas twin princess, whatever.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
I've seen... I think there's 2 of them.
There's multiple,
I love Hallmark style movies. They're great. They're amazing to laugh at. They're
anyway,
awesome.
She was the Coachella queen. She would always post on Coachella. She was like the originator of the flower crown. 2016 Coachella, I feel like was prime Coachella years.
This is about right, yeah.
And then in 2020, when they canceled it, she made this very just... I understood what she was saying, but people have kind of gone back on what she said and been we get it, but it was just so out of touch and in poor taste. She literally, I need to show it to you, but she literally was like, I don't understand why they're canceling it. It's so stupid. I mean, yeah, people are gonna die, which is terrible, but inevitable. And she said it exactly like that. Referring to COVID-19, and I was like, girl, it was so funny. And so she, of course, got canceled. But Coachella did just happen. I know LOL's Leah went, and then I don't really know anyone else who went. I've known people who've gone throughout the years, but honestly, for years, I didn't even know Coachella was a music festival. I didn't really know what it was. I just was saw a bunch of influencers go and they would just dress up. And then when I found out it was a music festival, I was like, is it even about the music though?
It's a whole thing. It's not, it's kind of and this is coming from someone who's never been, just from seeing the media attention of it, is of course heavy EDM like a lot of festivals are, but not exclusively.
Is it? I thought it was just pop music. They got Lady Gaga, Green Day, and Post Malone
really
headlining this year.
My understanding
which is
was
3 very different artists.
Yes. My understanding was that it was heavy in the EDM side of things, along with a lot of the other festivals. Now maybe that's some of their day stuff. I don't know. I could be totally wrong on that. That's just my impression of what I've seen online.
Maybe some. Well, yeah. Now that I'm looking at some of the artists, the smaller artists, smaller in the sense of they're not Lady Gaga. They do look like they might be EDM artists, so maybe you're right. But then the headliners are these huge pop artists.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of headliners you're gonna get are gonna. I mean, that's the draw, right? The biggest draw, anyway.
Yeah.
You said Lady Gaga, Green Day, and who?
Post Malone.
Post Malone. Oh, cool.
And then under Lady Gaga was Missy Elliott and Benson Boone. Interesting. Right under Green Day was Charli XCX and the Misfits. So there was some sort of joke or something made. Y'all, I don't really know all the details, but I'm let's talk about this. I don't know the details, but we're going to talk about it anyway. But Charli XCX posted something that was how she should have been the headliner because, Brat Summer, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. And then people were like, Green Day has been the music industry, blah, blah, blah. I don't really care. And, like, I don't really have an opinion either way. That's not me saying I don't really care about Green Day. I think Green Day is great. They do have a lot of, you know.
Yeah, they were my introduction to like punk rock.
Yeah. But Charli XCX is great too. I actually am kind of surprised she wasn't headliner, but I mean, number 2 is still pretty good. But then one of the members of Green Day, I don't remember which one, but I did see the picture. He wore a sash that said actual headliner or something. Huh. And then Charli like retweeted it and was like obsessed. Okay. So I think it was an all goofy fun. Like, it's not that serious at all. I did forget Travis Scott was the other headliner.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I saw something while doing research that his set was like cost like $20,000 or something.
Well, it better after, and it should at least be like half safety precautions after that huge debacle.
That was bad.
That was a couple years ago.
That was really bad.
But that on the Astroworld tour.
Why is he even still performing? No, we're not getting into it. But anyway, so that's Coachella. Did any of y'all go to Coachella? Maybe you can educate us on Coachella, because obviously we don't really know much.
I'm not a festival guy personally. Like, I've been to like local festivals.
You know,
I had some opportunities to like go to like Bonnaroo or down to like Austin City Limits, and those would have been awesome to go to. Would have loved to go into those. Just, you know, life situations didn't pan out to end up going to those. But it's a lot of people, and I am very much like an introvert. I like going home and doing my thing. That being said, I'm mixing for, it's more of a local festival, but I'm mixing a band for local festival this week actually.
Oh, nice.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah,
but it's not like a big music festival. I've
never been to a music festival, and honestly, I remember like when everyone was talking about Coachella when I was in high school, and I was like, I do not understand the appeal. Like, that looks miserable. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not even about the music, blah 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 blah. Yeah. And I just never really had any like desire. And then as I've obviously gotten more involved in the music industry now, I have more of a desire. Coachella, I'm like, yeah, it'd be cool to go just to say you've gone. But honestly, I like Bonnaroo. I think I would probably be more interested in, or like Lollapalooza. But
Lollapalooza would be cool.
What I'm really interested in this year is Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Y'all, someone please give me tickets to Orlando Warped Tour. Please, please, please. I am begging you, if anyone knows any bands who's performing and they need an extra guy to be there, I am your guy. I want to see Lolo. I want to see Honey Revenge. I want to see Taylor Acorn. I want to see all the new up-and-coming artists that people are like, we don't know who these bands are. Yeah, that's the point of Warped Tour. But I know who these bands are, and I know they're great performers, and I love their music. So I want to see these artists perform, as well as like the bigger artists. In Orlando, I can't think of who's performing. I think like 303 might be performing. I know Simple Plan and Avril are performing in DC in Bowling for Soup, but I can't remember who's performing in Orlando. Doesn't matter. I still really want to go. If anyone out there has any tickets, let me know. But that being said, speaking of smaller artists, I'm doing great with the transitions today, let me just say. Speaking of smaller artists,
so subtle,
who should be on some good tours, some more, I guess, local news. That's kind of like our idea here, I guess. Provide you with some provide you with some music news that you guys might know about already. Provide you with some updates on artists that maybe you've heard of through our show or just through the grapevine, but maybe don't know as much about. Anastasia Elliott, if you've been watching our show at all in the past year, you know who she is. We talk about her all the time because she's an amazing artist, amazing, like, creator. Just so many facets to her artistry that are just incredible. Go check out our interview with her and our live session with her because she has an amazing voice. But she just released her music video for the song Bleach that she's had out. And it is part of her concept album. So she has released a music video for every single one of these songs in this album, this 13-song album. So I think she only has 2 more left, I believe. If and When and Good, which is my favorite, and I'm most excited about that one. So it's really crazy that she's like, I mean, if you go watch any of her music videos, you're going to be blown away and be like, this is an independent artist? How in the world?
Her artistry is beyond just like your singer-songwriter performer thing. She is a bit of an more than a bit of an all-around artist in that there's huge huge time and energy put into costuming, into set design, into
every little detail,
all the little details. I think there's, if I remember right, a lot of references internally to other videos, to other things that are all going on. She's building a little bit of like her own little universe in 100%. Her things. And like you said, it's a concept album, which all the songs are already out, and she's going through those videos, one by one. And each of these videos has something just kind of unique and interesting. Like this last one that the Bleach that just came out it's one of those cool, like going through different eras and hitting different things, and you see little reoccurring items in her videos. You're like, oh, I've seen that before. Mm-hmm. That's somewhere else.
Yeah, I forget what she said, how many Easter eggs she said are in there, but there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot of Easter eggs. So like go through and go watch our interview with her where she talks in depth about these music videos, and then go to her channel and watch literally from beginning through how many videos she has out presently, or when she does have all of them out, go through and watch them from beginning to end. It'll probably be like a little movie.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, she has a lot of content, and it's not just, one thing. It's not just, here's, some cool songs, but here's some cool videos as well. Mm-hmm. It's a whole experience. I think of some other artists that have kind of done that kind of thing more recently. I think it was you I was talking to. Well, actually, Quentin Kufal, who's been on our show a number of times, told me to go back and watch Falling in Reverse has come out with some new stuff in the last number of months, and they have a couple videos that I'm like, it's a cool song, but at least in their situation, I'm like, it's so much cooler with the video, because it's a whole like little experience of its own. It itself is entertainment beyond just, here's a music video. And a lot of Anastasia Elliott's stuff is kind of that way too. Like she has some killer music, and that is one difference that I would draw. Like the Falling in Reverse stuff is cool, the songs are cool, but I don't know that I would personally just go listen to all those songs without the video. But I would, like, with the video, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Her stuff, she's got some amazing songs that even outside of watching the videos stand alone very, very well. Sometimes when you go to like local artist shows, especially if they're younger artists, like it's hard to pick out different songs, and it's hard to remember different songs, because as a writer and a performer, when you're starting out, it's hard to make those separations when you're playing live. Like, oh, this is a totally different thing. We've talked about it, I'm pretty sure, on the show before. If not, I know Patrick and I have talked about this in the past. Like when I left Anastasia Elliott's show, it was like, oh, I remember these songs, like a lot of them. This is
rare for him.
Which is rare for me. My memory's horrible, but also like they were so distinctly different. There's like, oh, I remember this melody. I remember this part. I remember this thing. I remember that thing about these different songs, and could pinpoint when they were played back to the studio version. Like, that's this song, without going in without knowing any of her stuff, the first time. And that's not always the case with local artists. So if you're new in the industry and you're trying to break in, she's someone I would really look at, locally here in Nashville, that's doing really cool stuff, but able to keep such a core sound to her and a core identity of her vocals, her production, her sound, her identity as a musical thing, but also able in that succinctness to break out and have all these different identities per song, and these different, just totally different approaches, sounds that are all cohesive but distinct. And I think that's a really cool thing about her music, just purely on the music side. And the videos are awesome. Yeah,
she's amazing. Well, speaking of more great small artists, I'm telling you, I'm killing it with the transitions tonight. That's 3 for 3. Anyway, speaking of great small artists, we're gonna go do our interview with Dawn, and I'm so excited about it. And we're gonna travel back to the 2000s with Avril Lavigne, with Spice World, Josie and the Pussycats, all of the materialistic, glittery, pink greatness, and talk to Dawn about their journey as artists. So stay tuned for that, and make sure you stay tuned for our live session with them. And make sure you subscribe.
Oh, yeah. Make sure you subscribe. I was like, I don't know where you're going with this. You didn't give me a transition, Patrick. You're 3 for 4 now.
You can do that. You can do that.
3 for 4 now. Thank you so much for watching the show. We appreciate every like, comment, and subscribe. It really does make a difference to us. Share with your friends if you like the show, if you enjoy it, and especially if you find it helpful. Share with the people that you know around you so that they can help, so they can level up their music career as well. Like he said, stay tuned. We are just about to go right into the Dawn interview. Look out for the live sessions. And if you want to see more of Dawn and more of their performances in a small, bedroom environment, we have not 1 but 2 live sessions that will be coming out with their interview. And you can find that on the Patreon account. We'll have the links down in the description below. You can also find us on su-podcast.com and anywhere that you stream podcasts.
Get ready for season 4. Woo!
Hey guys, it's David Overstreet here from Successfully Unsigned, and as a fellow singer-songwriter here in Nashville, here's 3 quick reasons why you should be affiliated with a performing rights organization, or P.R.O., better known as an organization that can make sure you get paid for your works as an artist. Number 1, they ensure that you receive royalties when your work is publicly performed. So that means at restaurants, bars, on the radio. They monitor it all for you. Number 2, they help protect your intellectual property. Let's say you register your work here in Nashville and someone decides to infringe upon that work in Oregon. P.R.O.s not only monitor authorized plays and use of your work, but also unauthorized use of your work. Then you can say, nice try, some guy named Dylan in Oregon. And number 3, it makes it way easier to license your work out to other revenue sources such as TV or movies for sync deals, because they negotiate for you. And as an artist, getting anything off your plate is always a welcome bonus. So if you haven't already, you should register your work with either BMI or ASCAP, whose websites we will link in the description below. For more tips like this, like, subscribe, or go visit our website at su-podcast.com.
Welcome to Successfully Unsigned, Season 4. We are back. We are better than ever. We have so many great things planned for you. And starting today, an artist that I have been waiting to have on here for about a year. I feel like we're just talking and how we met about a year ago today. And today our guests are the very legendary Dawn.
Legendary. Oh my goodness.
Yes, legendary. I am such a big fan of you guys, and am so privileged to now call you friends, but I was a fan first, which we will get into. But before we do, just give me kind of like a history of your band. I know you guys went kind of the indie route for a little bit, and now you're more like pop punk. So what is your history musically, individually, and then kind of how did that come together for both of you?
I love that. So we both have always loved music and been involved with music in varying degrees. For me, it started out just like on LimeWire, literally downloading everything I could find, iTunes Single of the Week, MySpace. Like that's kind of how I got into music and really wanting to discover new music all the time and make my friends like mix CDs of like the coolest stuff they've never heard. And then I started to play in a couple bands, and that was really fun because I don't know, there's something about music that's just magic. And doing the band thing was always my favorite thing, but finding people to be in a band with you, that's another story. So I started just songwriting and doing stuff kind of on my own for a while, and then we get to college where we met the very last week of our senior year of college. And it was crazy. All 4 years, I had seen him around. He was just this really tall, mysterious white man.
Aloof guy.
Blonde guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got to talking in like a basement party post-Kesha show about, glitter down the face.
Yep.
And we started talking about like pop punk music that we used to love. growing up. So we kind of connected over that. Then we started dating after school. And kind of just music was like a fun thing that we would do occasionally until we were like, maybe we should do this together.
And you guys are coming up on 10 years of dating, right?
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
It's a crazy milestone. Almost like we were just talking about, like, wasn't 10 years ago, was literally like Spring Fling when we
The Kesha concert.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But
Just
I'll let
wild.
Mike.
Yeah. No, and I guess for me, like, I was always playing in bands, like, through middle school and high school. Like, like we were trying to basically be, Fall Out Boy or Boys Like Girls. Boys Like Girls was actually from my hometown, so that was like the band that I was like, we were trying to model ourselves after. And so we went through a bunch of different members, ended up like no longer being in that band in college, and started doing like recording for other bands actually. So I would like record my friends' bands, and then eventually I met McCall, and I was like, hey, maybe this is a good band member that we can actually work together as not just dating, but being band members. Like, that'd be pretty cool to try out. So we were doing like the electronic, like indie pop thing. Like, it was kind of in style back in like, God, that was 2016.
Yeah.
It's crazy how long ago that is. Yeah. And, we were doing okay at it. I mean, it was a little bit out of our comfort zone for like what we were used to writing. And then we were just like, you know what? Hey, why don't we just start making pop punk music again? And then like, this is around 2020, the MGK album came out, and I think inspired a lot of people that, hey, maybe people still have interest in this genre.
Okay, very cool. So I knew you were in like some boy bands and such.
Boy bands for sure.
It's actually right behind you right now. His poster. That's his old band there. Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh my, that's you.
Yeah.
I didn't even recognize you.
That's so funny.
That's crazy.
Their band actually, I think, gave Pete Wentz a mixtape once.
We did meet Pete Wentz one time.
That's amazing.
We were auditioning for him.
Check out One Step Away.
Their music's still up there.
Oh,
it's pretty good.
That's
it's catchy.
incredible. I can't believe I never caught that.
It's great.
Okay, what were you like singing in your previous bands?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I like occasionally will play the guitar, but for me it was always about like frontman vibes for sure.
Right,
yeah.
right. Main character
Gotta
energy.
be center of attention,
And I was like the exact opposite. I was the bass player, and then I was like the guitar player, and I was like, dude, just keep me out of the attention as much as you can, but I still want to be in the band, obviously,
right. So what, like, I mean, it's great that, you're not having to necessarily deal with like a bunch of band members that maybe you don't necessarily like. But obviously being a couple who also works together in a sense brings its own set of challenges. So what does that look like, and what does it look like when you guys disagree on something as a band?
I mean, it's really hard having two people in a band when you disagree on something, because you don't have a third person to like weigh in. So if we disagree on a TikTok or something, we're like scrambling trying to like text a friend, be like, can you vote? Please tell us what you think. Or it's like if one of us wants to cut a song and the other is like, then it's like you don't have that third person with a strong opinion to kind of outweigh you. So I'd say that's the downside, and I guess we make up for it kind of by just asking friends. And honestly, the Discord that we have has been so helpful for that when we're like unsure of which design to go with, or if we're like, is this song worth cutting? Like that, having that confidence that the fans buy into it as well is amazing.
Yes, we're going to get into the Discord just a little bit later, but go join their Discord. I'm part of it. Like, we're always chatting it up in there. You guys share some exclusive
Patrick is a celebrity in the Discord, believe me. He's like the third band member.
I have been mistaken as their drummer before. And if you guys don't know, go check out our tour episode that we did. It was the last episode of our last season. And I got to go on tour with you guys, and you guys are going on tour again, which we'll talk about, but I will be joining them again. So I'm so excited. So excited.
It's going to be even crazier this time.
I know. It really is. So I did want to talk about just like you guys have such a decent, like, you have a really good following. When did you start noticing? So I know with your song Mixed Signals, you've talked about that's kind of when you realize like, oh wow, this is like something we really could be really good at.
Yeah.
So was it at that point that you kind of started gaining traction, or was it 2002 that you started gaining traction, or kind of what has that process of growth looked like?
I mean, I think growth is a constant thing, It's like when we first put out Mixed Signals, which was for so long ago, it was like that was the first time that we felt like validated. Like our friends were like, we love this song, and we loved the song too, and we were just like kind of energized to like go down that route musically. But I think like growth is a continuous thing. So it's like 2002 was a huge milestone for us, but like we've had moments like our song like Effed Up Lullaby, but like that was another huge like kind of breakeout moment for us on TikTok, where we finally figured out, how to reach people. And, as controversial as that song is, it did teach us a lot about, making fans and growing the platform.
Definitely. And about like once you start to get some interest, like you'll also get some haters too. That was an interesting one for us because it came with the flip side, which was cool because I feel like art should be controversial.
Right.
So that was
I think
fun.
McCall's a little bit more willing to deal with hate than I am. Like I'm like, if anyone hates it, I'm like, no, we shouldn't even put it up, take it down. But McCall's like, no, that's good. I'm like,
yeah.
All right.
Well, especially with like 2002, it's always so hard when you do like a cover of something, and especially with that, like that's gonna bring so much different opinions and the whole idea. But it's really cool that you guys got to work with Bowling for Soup.
Yes.
And like literally have Jared's phone number. Like that's just so crazy.
The fact that Jared approves it means that I'm not going to listen to the haters on that one.
Exactly. What is there anything else like you can really say about like working with him, or like was that just such a crazy experience?
It was wild. I feel like I'm still in disbelief that like, because I used to listen to that song. Like I remember in middle school on my iPod, I had that, and I was like, God, this song is such a banger. You know, like probably not banger. I was like,
it was like my family's
so
favorite
sick.
song.
Yes. So just being able to, it's cool too because I feel like until you get to actually talk with somebody at that level, you don't really realize just like how much of they're just like you, really. I always think that like celebrities and like super famous musicians and stuff are gonna just be above it, but he was just like so chill, down to earth, wanted to support us, got things going. It was really cool.
Also like how being in the music industry, like I'm fairly new to the music industry, but realizing like how accessible a lot of people really are if you just meet the right people and network, which is what we always suggest on the show. Like go to shows, talk to people, get your name out there, and you'll eventually come upon the right people that will promote you the way you want to be promoted.
Definitely. I feel like consistency and honestly just being genuine and kind is so important in any creative industry.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And that is like the number one thing that whenever I'm talking about you guys, like I obviously have a lot of merch, which we'll also get to. But I got a compliment on my hat the other day. I've gotten compliments on this shirt, and I'm always like, go check them out. Like, love their music. And I do truly love y'all's music. But the other thing that I love about you guys is that you're just such genuine people. And like all of the people that I know that know you guys are just like, they're just so sweet. And like it's very common sometimes to come across people who maybe have as much of your following who are just kind of like, oh, like I'm above you. But you guys are so sweet and kind, and like even just the fact that you have like our friendship has grown when I was a fan first, and seeing that with your fans on tour especially too, like it was so cool to see so many fans come on tour and you guys meet them and like genuinely give them the time of day. It wasn't just like, okay, we'll take a quick selfie and then see ya, like I gotta go. You guys really took the time, sometimes to the point where the venue was like, you guys need to leave. But I really appreciate your guys' attitude with the whole process.
Of course. Well. I mean, I feel like we're too old to not be humble at this point.
That's fair.
Okay. To me,
25 is a really
25 is a hard age to be. Yeah. But I feel like, we're so grateful to just have people listening now.
Yeah.
We did the music thing for so long and people weren't listening. So we're just so grateful that it's like there's at least a few people who are and care about us. Yeah. So like we're blown away that anybody is still hanging out with us.
Well, to me, music, like going back to like the mix CDs and like LimeWire and discovering this is like a way to connect and meet people and share your interests. Like it's like an unspoken, like emotional bond between people. So when we're creating whatever, we're like literally putting ourselves, like how we're feeling and our like everything into there. So the fact that people are gonna come up and be like, I listen to this, like that's like so impactful, and you deserve more than just like the time of day. Like I want to connect you. I want to know what you liked, what you didn't like. I want to, we clearly have like commonalities. So I want to meet all those people.
Right. Well, it's also really cool like seeing fans talk about like your old music too. Like it seems like there's a lot of fans that are like,
It's
wait,
so-
I really like the
so
indie
funny.
sound as well.
Oh my
I know.
god.
I mean, I'm like, we did end up taking some of it down. Maybe we'll put it under a different name someday. But I was
Yeah,
like, the indie
right.
songs, there was nothing wrong with them. They were just a different genre.
Right. It's really cool to see like just such a dedicated fan base. But I do have a question, like, you know, you guys go to your page, your TikTok page, your Instagram page,
Yeah.
and you guys have like a very good following. Your Discord has a like good amount of people in it. It's pretty active and everything. But knowing you guys, like, I also know some of the behind the scenes and like how much you still, at the end of the day, like are struggling independent artists.
Yeah.
And like that's not me trying to, you know, go against you or say that like, but I think it is
I
kind of
agree
a
with you.
yeah,
It's always a
it's kind of a
struggle.
reality. Like we met some people on tour that were like, oh, I was so sure this was gonna like sell out every single show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so just I think it shows the reality of like, you know, look, even when you have a big following,
Yeah.
we still out here struggling.
Yeah, no, it's a fake it till you make it kind of industry,
Yeah.
you know, and it's like you got to have that wave of like hype behind you that like people think the show is gonna sell out, so they gotta buy
Right.
the tickets in
Right.
advance,
Yeah.
Right.
you know.
Right.
Well, I think a big part of it too is people are just tired and everything's expensive. Getting people
Yeah.
to a show now is
We're
just
sounding so 30 right now.
well, no, I don't think that's just 30. I think that's just like
That's life right now.
Yeah,
I agree.
just feel like the live music environment pre-COVID was like this completely different space
Right.
that we never, maybe we don't know, maybe I don't know what it was like, but like as a concert goer and to a lot of indie bands, I feel like I was seeing a lot more people wanting to go out and socialize. And now I think people just kind of prefer to just stay
yeah.
home. You have to really, really convince
Well, there's just so
people.
much stuff to do at home now. You know, you
Also
got the
that.
internet, you have
That too.
streaming. There's like
The internet? I've never heard of that.
dial up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the year 2004. What do you-
Yeah.
In this bedroom.
Hold on a second. Let me check.
Yeah. You got to compete with all those things to sell tickets now. So that's what's tough.
Yeah.
So how do you kind of deal with like some of the discouragement of, you know, realizing like, wow, we have all these dedicated fans, but you know, we're still not making, like, we can't make music a full-time career.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people will struggle with that because the barrier to making it full time is so high right now. But I also think at the same point we're living in an era where you can make a TikTok and like your song can go viral in a second, and that never existed back in
That's true.
2015, 2016 when we first started. The best
Yeah.
thing you could do back then was get on a blog
playlist.
or a Spotify playlist. That
Yeah.
was really your only option. There was no, or maybe Reddit. There was like no other social media that you were going to blow up on like TikTok.
The organic reach is crazy. Like
Yeah.
we're meeting so many people and like getting our music in front of so many people. Like and yes, even with all those people and the following and stuff, it's hard to draw. But I think the connection
It's
is
always
what's
progress.
really cool.
It's a slow progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like if whether you sell like 20 tickets or you sell 200 tickets, like it's like you're gonna like go back the next time and hopefully sell like twice as much.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think you got to build from something because like what we've realized is that in-person audience and online audience aren't necessarily the same thing, you know? And you have to like make sure people realize that the in-person experience is like unique and different than just listening
Exactly.
online.
I also think like putting it into perspective of like, you know, tell yourself 10 years ago that, hey, like we have 100,000 followers on both Instagram and TikTok.
Right.
Well,
Crazy.
This thing called TikTok, like you'd be like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah,
how many
I mean,
people
I'd
care
just
about
be
my
like,
music?
"Oh my god, we're going on tour. We're playing like
Yeah.
all of the cities
Yeah.
in the Midwest that I can name pretty much."
Yeah, very, very cool.
yeah.
We put out a CD. Like that's so sick.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love y'all CD and the art.
The CD was such an undertaking to make, but it came out so good. And by undertaking, I mean McCall spent so much time on it, and I said that looks great.
We'll talk about merch on the Patreon, but we did a little clip about like merch, and I did such a big shout out for y'all because I've just been
I
obsessed
love
with
it.
y'all's merch. So I know we have talked about it personally, but we're called Successfully Unsigned, so you guys are currently independent. But do you feel like you're at the level to where you could get signed? Is that something that you would want?
Yeah.
Just because I also know you guys and like how particular you are about your, music and brand and everything. And like you guys have it kind of set down to a certain way.
Yeah.
So what would that look like giving a piece of yourself to a label?
Yeah, I mean, so truthfully, like I don't know what like I feel like labels are changing very like a lot these days after, you know, COVID and after the TikTok had its boom and then now TikTok is different for artists. It's a lot harder to get out there. I think, yes, obviously we're interested in deals because I think the connections that come along with it are so like valuable and so amazing. But like we're also happy to just keep grinding, you know, the independent route. Like I feel like we've finally just started building a machine that can like carry itself, you know, of just like recording the songs ourselves and releasing them. And like honestly, that what it comes down to is it's not about like the label or connections. It's always about the fans. So it's like right now we still have the ability to reach people and create our music. So like therefore we can still like continue to grow hopefully.
I think building out our team to help execute the vision is super important to us. Like there's all of these ideas that I have for like making our music into more of an experience.
Right.
And we can only do so much with everything that like being able to have more help with that would be sweet. But honestly, it's really cool to be fully independent as well. So we'll see. Again, like Mike said, it's all about the fans
it's
and we're reaching
of
them.
Wearing every hat and managing your time and somehow fitting in a 9 to 5.
Yep. Well, especially on tour, like I told some of my friends after, I was like, y'all, that because I obviously knew your social media was very like very present, like very branded, like you guys really kind of know what you're doing. But watching you guys actively do it, I was like, this is like a scientist. Like
I am so sorry.
No, it was so cool because I'm like, you guys truly do have it like down to a science. So how have you been able to kind of curate that and figure out like what works and what doesn't?
Yeah.
And once again, I guess it sort of goes with the label. Like, would you ever be willing to kind of put that responsibility in someone else's hands if it got to be too much for you?
I think we would need to definitely still have our branding super involved and like the vision like
and I feel like labels still do want you to be super involved in social media. They just might have like a coach that like, you know, helps you make ideas, but
honestly everyone's just guessing all the time.
They are, and everyone's copying each other at the same time.
Where we literally just
and no shade because we copy everyone too. Like that's just how it is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. Like whether or not we see something that works well for one artist and we just tweak it to fit our brand, or if we have a crazy idea and we're like, let's just try this out and see what it does.
Right.
And sometimes it pays off and sometimes you have a big flop and you're like, okay, well, maybe that didn't work today. But to be honest, 2002, when we first put it out in 2021, like I did a stupid TikTok video, got like very minimum, like 30K views, something like, and I was like, wow, this is dumb. 2 years later, Mike maybe brought it up and was like, we should just try that again and see what happens.
I was like, we should repost it. That was a good video.
Yeah.
It did well. Because that was like probably our most viewed video at the time was like.
And then it got like 3 million views and Jarrett and like.
That's crazy. I did not realize.
It was a big flop initially.
I think we literally just originally done 2 videos. We did the chorus and then we did the verse and then we were just like, okay, that's enough. We'll move on. Because we weren't expecting to put it out. We were just doing it for fun at the time. Because obviously you don't go out there and say, all right, I'm going to work with Bowling for Soup. Let me make a parody and they're going to talk to me. Like that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. How much time do you guys think you spend on working on socials a day?
Way too much. I mean, I think I'd say a minimum like 2 hours.
Okay, that's actually not terrible.
The video we did today, so I feel like sometimes it's a lot faster. Sometimes, like some of the videos that I do are like intense edits.
Yeah, like the MySpace videos or like, but some of those you can like reuse clips. Not MySpace. MySpace ones I know McCall has to redo a lot of stuff, but like some of the like coming home from school in the 2000s or like certain like
I love those ones though.
Oh good, I'm glad.
Yeah,
I love those too. I feel like we just want our community to be a really comforting place where you can deal with the stress that you have in a healthy, nostalgic way.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of people say like don't get dragged too much into nostalgia, but I feel like nostalgia really is just a memory of something without anxiety. So if you can pull that into your current anxiety, I feel like it's a good yin and yang.
Yeah. Well, that literally is the perfect transition because, so obviously, like I am a big fan just because like I love early 2000s nostalgia, like anyone who knows me. And obviously you guys do as well. You even brand yourself as
whose room is this?
as the new nostalgia. But did you ever intend for your brand to be 2000s before 2002?
I have to go back and think about it, and I think a little, but not to the extent that it is now. I remember we were still we want to make nostalgic sounding pop punk music. Right. That's kind of our angle.
Okay. Yeah.
We were before 2002, we had still had Thanks. We had Depressed in Heaven. We had Yeah, Right, which actually came out so much later, but
Anybody Else?
Okay.
Anybody Else we had done.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of stuff in that nostalgic Hillary Duff vein where we were okay, we want to do if Hillary Duff met with Fall Out Boy or something like that. That kind of nostalgic collab. But we had never done to the extent of we're full on into the nostalgia thing.
Right.
But then 2002 happened, and it was just kind of a natural thing where it was just
nostalgic cup. The
both of us are very into it as well. We still have all of our old stuff from childhood. I still have my GameCube, my Game Boys, and it's all that stuff is still so fun and enjoyable that it was just an easy transition that actually made so much sense with, and I think catapulted the brand. Honestly, it made a lot of resonated with a lot of other people.
Definitely.
Well, and I guess you sort of already answered this, but I was saying how Mike, you and I once were talking, and you said I feel like people just always talk about the past with us. So do you sometimes feel you've put yourself in a corner, or are you is that ever a worry with your branding and everything?
Somewhat. Sometimes we'll have conversations that's okay, is this going to be us forever? Mm-hmm. And I think it's always going to have a root in that feeling because I love the comfort that comes with it. And I want people to feel that in the music, whether or not they grew up during the same time we grew up. I see so many people who are a lot younger or older, mostly younger, and they're I wish I was born in the 2000s. What a comforting time. And I feel it was kind of that last stretch before we just got so overstimulated by everything. And we have a personal computer on us 24/7. You can't turn anything off. So I love the idea of pulling from that. I think the brand and the sound will evolve. I think there'll be other eras that we'll go through. This next album that we're doing definitely branches out a bit. And I think that's cool.
I mean, I think also the branding of the 2000 stuff aligns with some of the concepts of songs we've written, and I feel that's kind of our promotional angle too at the moment. I know BRB TTYL, that whole album was
Did you just say TTYL in a weird? That was weird.
Don't
say
ask
it again.
why that happened, but that EP, that album, it was there was a lot of songs with nostalgic concepts, so it made sense to kind of promote them hand in hand with nostalgia. But there's other songs that are coming out or that have come out where we kind of try and promote them through a different angle too. So I think it's so good. It's part of the brand, but it's not the entire brand. And obviously me and McCall being from that era and loving that era is part of our personalities too. So it kind of just comes out naturally.
Well, and I think with any band, obviously you're going to have a certain sound, and then you learn to adapt. And so I think of even big bands I don't know, first one that comes to mind is Paramore, and when they shifted to the Ain't It Fun era, people are we miss the old Paramore, and then they switched to Hard Times and After Laughter, and people are what in the world are you doing? But as a band, look, they've been doing it for how many years? You gotta grow, and you change your tastes.
You try different stuff for sure. You can't just make the same thing over and over.
Absolutely. Also, side note, I was wearing this. I literally wear this hat probably every day now, almost.
Really? Oh, I love it.
Which I am not a hat person. He can tell you, but I wear this hat all the time now.
So funny.
And I had someone ask me what it was, and so I was oh, it's this really cool band. You should check them out. And she was just looking at it, and she was
what does it say?
What does BRB TTYL mean? And I was oh,
you're
and she
young.
goes, oh, does it mean be right back? Talk to you later. I was yeah, my bad. I didn't realize that's what you were asking.
Well, I'm glad you thought to promote first. That was
absolutely,
sweet.
absolutely.
It's not just a phrase. It's a concept. You have to be there.
It's not just a phrase, and it's not a phase.
So, like I said, we went on tour back in October, had the time of our lives. At least I know I did. I knew I would enjoy it, but man,
we had a
really
lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. Like I said, go check out our tour episode that we did for the last episode of our last season. It was our Halloween special. And I talk all in details about it. But we're about to be going on tour again. I do y'all's merch, by the way. I'm not the drummer. I'm not I'm a hype man and a merch guy, which I feel like I do pretty good at.
The best in the business, really.
Yeah.
Yes, I try. But yeah, talk about the tour and who we're doing it with and everything, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, same. We're really excited about this tour because it's gonna be different. All of us have been playing around with the idea of making it more of an experience than just a show. The idea being that you were born in the wrong era. So basically you're going to show up and be transported back in time with us to the 2000s.
Yes.
There's a little nod to Taylor Swift in there too for the Eras tour, which we're going on tour with Jack the Underdog, who's a really awesome pop punk alternative artist here in Nashville, and also does a lot of Swimo covers, which super fun. So there's a little bit of everything.
Swimo is Swift emo.
Yes.
Swift
for those
emo.
who don't know.
Yes. So it's definitely going to be an experience. The goal is to make you feel like you have left this century. No. Decade.
1999, maybe.
No, this decade is the 20s. So you're right.
Well, I said century. Oh, you're right.
I guess
2000s would be the century.
but then a little bit past the century.
This decade
line.
and then the last decade.
Yeah.
You're going back 2 decades.
2 decades.
More or less.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, but we're super excited. It's going to be a little bit longer than the last tour. I think it's almost 1.5 times as long. So it's 10 cities instead of just 7. And yeah, we're so excited. We're going to play McCall's hometown show in Minneapolis for the first time. We're going to go to Chicago, which is our #1 city on Spotify for the first time.
Ooh.
We're really excited.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for Chicago. That's the only place I know people in.
I've heard it's also a huge pop punk city, so
yes,
it might be a big show.
Yes.
You never know.
Will Uncle Steve make an appearance at one of the shows?
God, I hope so.
Shout out Uncle Steve.
What a gem. My family's going to be showing up in Minnesota because my mom has 9 brothers and sisters. So
I did not realize that.
Yeah. Watch out.
okay.
Everywhere you turn, there's going to be a Wallish. You're going to be like, get out of here, Wallishes.
We need to do an Uncle Steve car reaction video at some
Honestly.
point. It would be the most iconic
Yes,
thing.
I love y'all's car reaction video. Go check out our car reaction video that we did for BRBTTYL.
I loved it.
Where I didn't know
About the Great Escape.
The Great Escape
That
by
was
Boys Like Girls,
hilarious.
and I got roasted for it in the comments.
As you
Sure
should.
did.
Well, can we expect any... Well, first, let's talk about your new song that you just released literally a few days ago.
Yep.
Everyone, I feel like, on the Discord is obsessed with it. People were saying that they were crying in their cars to it.
Stop.
It's called Getting Older Scares Me to Death.
Is there any song we're going to release where people aren't crying to it?
Also fair. It's the emo
Crying
genre,
and moshing.
It's okay. We're starting out really existential, and then it's gonna we're gonna get a little bit hard, more intense existential, and then really fun.
Perfect.
That's this year.
Okay. Well, that being said, can we expect new music on the tour and everything?
Yes. Well, we may have a song potentially with Jack the Underdog dropping soon.
Okay.
Secret. Just in time for tour. But we also have, plans for a second EP to follow up BRB TTYL.
Okay. Very exciting.
We were talking actually about doing a double-sided vinyl, which would be cool, but that's kind of just a thought, nothing official.
You just got everyone so excited. So be careful.
Yeah, so one side
that would
old
be so
album, other
cool,
side the
though.
new album.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a pink glittery vinyl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, imagine how cool it'd be to have pink on one side and then
And
the
black
other
on the
side is
other
the other
side.
album color.
Oh.
Which is definitely gonna be black. Let's be real.
Oh.
We don't
this
know
is
yet.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I love all the new songs. I love Any Other Girl. I love Getting Older Scares Me to Death. That one has been on repeat. But also, if you want to check out their unreleased stuff, go to their Discord. Is it in your Instagram?
It is. Our Discord is in our Instagram,
Yes.
and if you make it to the top 8 rank, which may take sending something like 500 messages in the Discord or something like that.
But let me tell you, some
will
people
hear
get there
demos.
quickly.
Yeah. But yeah, people chat a lot in there. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Great.
I never
It's
thought
really
anybody was
active.
going to reach rank 10, and then now there are 20 people in that
I know.
chat, which is
Yeah.
crazy.
So do we need further roles? I don't even know.
I think
Just come join us
at
in the
that point.
Discord.
At that point, you're there because you're part of the community.
That's so real.
Join the Discord. We talk about
Yeah.
Discord. We talk about Pokemon. We talk about
yeah.
RuneScape. But like they said, Dale needs to join the Discord. But like they said, if you get into their top 8, you might have some access to some.
That's
super
your
secret
incentive
songs.
to help be a part of the Discord and keep the community going.
Yeah.
Is you get the sneak peek at all the demos.
Yes, and let me just say, some of the demos are very, very good. Like, I really enjoy them. So I'm excited for them. Well, I appreciate you guys so much. We're going to continue this conversation over on our Patreon. We have a Patreon now, y'all. This is crazy. So please join our Patreon if you want to hear even more from Dawn. We're going to talk about merch. We're going to talk about music videos. We'll probably talk about something 2000s, as always. And it's going to be a fun time. So make sure to go join our Patreon, and you can find all that information in the description. Make sure to follow us. Make sure to follow Dawn. It's at dawn.music, DAVVN.
Yep.
Or davvn for some people.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
This is going to happen one day.
One day. The two
smart.
V's. I think it has to be
That's
you.
smart.
Do,
It does have to be
I think
you.
it
It's like a
does.
very 303
I think
kind
it's
of
weird
vibe.
if you do the thing together, I'll be honest.
All right. Well, I thought it was cute, but
No, it is cute. But you do it yourself. Yeah, that's cool.
this was going to be really cute.
I love it. Go listen to their music because it's really, really good. And it's going to make you cry in your car, apparently.
And then scream.
Yes.
Yep.
And once again, go subscribe, follow us everywhere at su-podcasts.com. And we will see you guys over on the Patreon.
Yay!
I can't wait to find something else Patrick doesn't know about. Yay! The Great Escape has nothing on. Think of something super